there's a chassid whose name was Pinchas Woolstone, and he was a Baal Tshuva from Australia. And he became a Baal Tshuva in Australia. After he became Baal Tshuva, he actually found out that he was related to the Rebbe. He was a grandson of the Tzemach Tzedek. But he was in Australia. He wasn't from it all. He became from. He learned in Kfar Chabad, and then he came to America for a little, and he was in Crown Heights. And when he was there, one day he bumped into a Rav in New York, a non-Lubavitch Rav. And the Rav says, "Listen, you're from Australia. You're probably going to end up going back to Australia." He says, "You should know that there is a woman from Borough Park, who from a lady who she had a very difficult marriage, and then to top it all off, her husband refused to give her a get for many years. She was an aguna, so she disappeared. And the rumor is that she's in Australia. So when you go back to Australia, if you happen to see her, let me know."
Look for her.
So this guy says, "I told the Rav, Australia is as big as the United States." It's like, imagine you're somewhere. So you're going back to the United States. If you see this person in the United States, So the Rebbe says, but you're a Lubavitcher. When you go into the Rebbe, ask your Rebbe what to do. So he went into the Rebbe because when it came the time for him to go back to Australia, he went into the Rebbe, and before he left the Rebbe's room, so he told the Rebbe about this story. About this lady. And he asked the Rebbe what to do. So the Rebbe says, "You're going back to Australia, maybe you should go to Brisbane." Brisbane is a city in Australia. It's like an hour north of Sydney by plane. Very few Yidden. Now there's a Chabad Shliach there. Very few Yidden. Then there was nothing. Maybe you should go next week. Maybe you should go to Brisbane. So he goes to Australia, and immediately he books a ticket to Brisbane, and he's on the plane to Brisbane. And sitting next to him is a lady who is a very Orthodox Greek, or religious Greek Orthodox Christian. And she starts talking to him, and she starts asking him different questions about Yiddishkeit. And then at the end of the conversation, as they were almost the flight was almost finished, she says to him, "Let me ask you a question. If a Jew leaves Judaism, are they rejected forever? Is the door closed, or can they come back?"
This is hint for him.
So he starts explaining that no, in Yiddishkeit there's no such thing as that's who a person is. You can take a vacation, but you always can and should come back. So she said to him, "You should know that I own a chain of women's clothing stores in Australia, and I have a store in the city of Cairns, spelled Kairns, and there's a girl who works there, and she's Jewish, and it's very obvious that she's not behaving now the way she used to, and she says she's happy, but I see that she isn't happy, and I'm wondering if there's anything you could do for her."
Wow.
And when he heard this, he literally started shaking. He's like, and he said, he told this lady, "I want you to know the reason why I'm going to Brisbane is because my Rebbe, my great rabbi, I asked her about finding a missing woman. He told me to go to Brisbane. I have no idea even where I'm going in Brisbane. And I'm pretty sure that this is the woman." So he got off in Brisbane. He took a flight straight to... What?
Her store.
To Cairns. He took a flight to the next place. He went into the store. She wasn't there. She was on a break. He waited. He came back. And she didn't want to talk to him. She said, "I'm working." So he waited till the end of her shift. And she wasn't very happy to see him. I mean, she was shocked, absolutely shocked to see from a chassid in Cairns, Australia, in a woman's clothing store. And he didn't know. He said straight out. He said, "I'm here," and he said the whole story with how the Rebbe sent him. And she said, "Listen, all I ever wanted was a get. That's all I wanted. And if you can help me with a get, great. But if not, have a nice day." So he got back. They got back in contact with New York. They found her, and they finally convinced the husband to give her a get. And she gave her get. She moved back to America. She still wasn't from, and she decided she's going to college. She went to college, and in the college there was a Chabad on campus. She started attending Friday night meals. She eventually became a complete Baal Tshuva. And she now lives in Israel, married with a Gasa Mishpacha, because of that trip to Brisbane.